Peace, peace, peace. What's good? What's good? I have a message for all the black sheep, all of the odd ones out, all of the cycle breakers, all of the ones who are choosing to think for themselves. Um, just everyone who is deciding to be a part of beginning to plant seeds of new, healthy growth. To all the ones who are choosing to do the difficult work, not work, I don't like to use that word, the difficult tasks to go and pick out the weeds, to figure out which ones are weeds. Sometimes there's different things in our environments, in our gardens, where at some point in time we're not aware that they're weeds until later we can find out that they're weeds growing and aren't meant to be in our garden. And I'm not exactly speaking very literal, obviously, but also not in the terms of like weeds, because weeds are actually good. So I should probably stop using weeds as an example because weeds are actually good. But for the sake of this video, weeds are things we don't want. We haven't learned how good weeds are actually just yet, even though we did. But you see, this is another example of what I'm talking about, the energies that I am collecting right now to send out this message. The ones who are starting to ask those questions that no one else has decided to ask before, or if it crossed their mind, didn't have this strength and the courage to say and ask in front of everyone else who is continuing to do the same thing and create a huge pause and halt and say, wait, hold on, why are we doing it this way? Even though every single other person is doing it the exact same way, being the one to stand up and say, hold on, I think what we're doing can use some improvement. I'm calling out to all of those who are the ones doing the difficult task. I'm not even really convinced of the word tasks, but we'll just use it for now. All the ones who are out doing those difficult things, saying the difficult things that nobody else has had the courage to say, being the one to do those difficult things that nobody else has had the courage to do, being the one to say, you know what? I don't understand why this has been going on for so long, but I'm out. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't care if the whole wide world is doing the same thing on this date. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Like, for example, those holidays. That's what I like to call them, holidays, because that's what they are. I ended up taking a really huge dive into the rabbit hole and getting down to the root of where all of these holidays have stemmed from and what they were created for and by. And I don't care if I was the only one that I knew in my life, literally, to be the only one that I personally have ever known in my life to say, I am not celebrating with you guys. I don't care if you guys all get together and everyone else in the world is celebrating this day. To be the one and say, not me. I choose differently. This message is for all of those who are taking those dives into the rabbit holes, who are questioning things and how they've been and why they've been the way that they have. Why are we doing these things that we've been doing for generations and generations? Why are we speaking and using these words that we've been using and saying to communicate for generations and generations? For all of those who are deciding to pave a new path, even though millions of people and probably every single other person in your life is doing the same thing that they have been, choosing to be the only one to stand alone in that. This message is for you because I know how difficult that can be. I know how difficult of a role that is to fill. But I also know how important it is for us to do this and why we chose to do this. You and I, we chose to do these things. We chose to be the ones to stand up and say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not participating in this. I'm not going to continue this cycle. I'm not going to continue keeping my mouth shut when I know that this is not just, that this is not, through my own discernment, the right choice to continue making. It's difficult to walk a path that you have no idea where it's leading you. You just trust in what's guiding you. It's a difficult path when you're the only one walking that path. And every single other person that you know, that you have known, that you have ever come across is walking a different path along with every other person in this world, minus those few. And you choose to walk a path alone, unpaved. A path of the unknowingness. Literally the path of the unknowingness. And you chose to walk that path alone. Not everybody can do that. Not anybody can do that. And that's why you were chosen. That's why you chose the path, because you knew that every other person, you knew that everyone else would find a lot more difficulty than you would. And you chose to be the one to take that difficult journey to make it easier for the next person, to make it easier for those that you love. That takes so much strength and that takes so much courage. And I know you don't even know how the heck you do it. I know you don't know how you do it because I don't know how I do it either. And that's why I'm making this message, because Unity is so powerful. And when we all unite and we all come together and gather as a collective, we realize how alone we're not physically. Because if you're hearing this message right now, you already realize you've acknowledged that knowingness that even if you're physically alone, you never are. You never can be. When you unite with others who are also walking that path that's similar to the one that you are, then you really realize even more so that you aren't alone and that you never were alone. Because even when you were physically alone, there was still someone else at another part of the world, on another piece of Mother Earth, who is also experiencing something similar to you. And we need to collect that energy, because as we collect that energy and connect it, this one little ball that we each are holding becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the bigger that it gets, the more that energy radiates all over the world. And the more that we can amplify that energy to radiate, is the more that we can help it reach so many others who are also now awakening to this path, and help them walk that path too. You can only teach someone something that you have already learned. Yeah, you can learn something together with someone, but you can only teach someone something that you already know. You can't teach someone 1 plus 1 if you think it's 3. You can't teach somebody how to spell something unless you know how to spell it. So as we are choosing this path that most times feels difficult, it's so worth it. And you know it. It's so worth it. That's why we chose it. Because it's not so much about us, and it's more so about raising the frequency of the collective as we raise our own, as we raise our own. We raise the collectives. When you give a smile, you receive a smile. Most times. Sometimes I've smiled at some people, even little kids. Sometimes I smile at a little kid and they're just still like, oh. I'm like, damn. What's up with you, dude? You didn't get a toy you wanted or something? It's very rare, actually. I love to smile at little kids because they usually are always smiling back. And you can tell when they are a certain when they've lived a certain amount of years here, it's always the ones who have lived a little bit longer here that tend to be a little bit more, they hold back, they start to hold back. It's so interesting when you can begin to notice how the shifts that happen within all of us as we are growing in our human bodies here. I don't believe in anything with numbers or ages or anything like that. It's like, how long have you been here on earth? But yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting when you observe these youngins who have come into earth and you notice that switch that happens when they're not so free within themselves anymore, when they start to hold themselves back, when they are afraid to give you a smile, when they're shy to give you a smile. Okay, maybe not the shy part. I think very young age, there's shyness there. You get what I mean. Hopefully. Back to the message. Back to the message. Back to the massage. If you found this message, it's because this is to remind you that you're not alone. You're not alone in what you're experiencing. You're not alone in your aloneness. I promise. As weird as it sounds, you're not alone in your aloneness. I'm here to remind you that the path that you're walking right now is meant to be the path that you walk. The things that you are experiencing right now are meant to be the experiences that you experience. Because everything's preparing you, everything's shaping you, everything's re-teaching you, everything's helping you remember who you truly are and why you agreed to come here on earth. And it wasn't promised to be easy. It wasn't promised to be hard. But it is meant to be what it's meant to be. And also, through our perception of these experiences that we encounter, we can make the choice to attract, to create experiences that don't have to be hard. Nonetheless, regardless, nonetheless, no matter what experiences we choose, we create, we attract, we're meant to grow through all of them. We are meant to grow through all of them. We're meant to continue blossoming and blooming. We're not meant to stay stagnant and dry up. We're meant to follow the sun, flow like the waves, and allow everything to remind us of who we are and why we came here to this existence, why we're existing, why we chose to be the one to stand up and create all of these new cycles, create this new earth. You chose it. And you should feel so proud of yourself for choosing that, because not everybody could. Not everybody at this point in time has chosen that. But you did. And because of that, you have everything you need to succeed through that path that you chose to take, to make it through that path you chose to walk. And as you're walking through it, even if you're feeling alone right now, trust me, believe me, that at some point or another, there will be people who will be curious to see what it is that's going on in your path and follow along your pavement now, the road that you've now paved. And if you are a true leader, you will remind everyone of the leaders that they themselves are too. It's not about gathering followers. It's not about getting people to follow your lead. It's about everyone following their own. Because we all have our own journey and we all have our own purpose and we all have our own reason for existing. My reason is not the same as yours. Can it be similar? Yes. But is it the same? No. And that's the beautiful thing about it. That's why we should allow others to shine in their own light, because we all have a unique shine to us all. And my light that shines is not meant to shine the same way as yours. We all need our own light to be a part of this collective light. So don't stop shining your light. Don't let your light dim. And if it dims, at some point, don't forget to turn it back up. Like the sun, at some point in the day it dims. And then it goes further away where we don't see it, and it becomes night, becomes dark. But then it always comes back to shine. So if you need to dim your light, it's okay. If your light has dimmed, it's okay. If it flickered off, you lost a little bit of power, that's okay too. If you need some light, I'm here to flicker you on and remind you that every single illumination or no illumination is a part of it. It's all a part of it. Embrace your brightness, embrace your darkness, embrace the shadow, embrace your full truth. Because there's so much that we can learn from every single shade of light there is. And there's so much that every single shade of light can show us. Some things are way too bright where we need to dim it up a little bit so that we can actually see what we're looking at. Sometimes we really need to turn the brightness up, because if not, we can't see what we're looking at. So no matter where you are in your path, whether your light is shining super bright right now or whether you have it dimmed or completely turned off, it's okay. When you're ready, remind yourself it's time to come out and shine your light like the sun. This is my message to you. This is my message to me. As always, keep shining. Peace.